Hi, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Day 26, Ezekiel, Master at Dealing with Catastrophe. Catastrophe strikes and a person's world falls apart. People respond variously, but two of the more common responses are denial and despair. Denial refuses to acknowledge the catastrophe. It shuts its eyes tight or looks the other way. It manages to act as if everything is going to be just fine. It takes refuge in distractions and lies and fantasies. Despair is paralyzed by the catastrophe and accepts it as the end of the world. It is unwilling to do anything, concluding that life, for all intents and purposes, is over. Despair listlessly closes its eyes to a world in which all the color has drained out, a world gone dead. Among biblical writers, Ezekiel is our master at dealing with catastrophe. When catastrophe struck, it was the 6th century BC invasion of Israel by Babylon. Denial was the primary response. Ezekiel found himself living among a people, the people of God, who astonishingly similar to us, stubbornly refused to see what was right before their eyes. The denial crowd. There were also some who were unwilling to see anything other than what was right before their eyes, the despair crowd. But Ezekiel saw. He saw what the people with whom he lived either couldn't or wouldn't see. He saw in wild and unforgettable images, elaborated in exuberant detail, God at work in a catastrophic era. Fearsome creatures, Ezekiel 1, an edible book, Ezekiel 2, bones coming to life, Ezekiel 37, 1-14. The denial people refused to see what the catastrophe was, in fact, catastrophic. How could it be? God wouldn't let anything that bad happen to them. Ezekiel showed them that, yes, there was catastrophe, but God was at work in the catastrophe, sovereignly using the catastrophe. He showed them so that they would be able to embrace God in the worst of times. The despair people, overwhelmed by the devastation, refused to see that life was worth living. How could it be? They had lost everything, or would soon: country, temple, freedom, and many, many lives. Ezekiel showed them. He showed them that God was and would be at work in the wreckage and rubble, sovereignly using the disaster to create a new people of God. This is your message from God, the Master. True, I sent you to the far country and scattered you through other lands. All the same, I provided you a temporary sanctuary in the countries where you've gone. I will gather you back from those countries and lands where you've been scattered and give you back the land of Israel. You'll come back and clean house, throw out all the rotten images and obscene idols. I'll give you a new heart. I'll put a new spirit in you. I'll cut out your stone heart and replace it with a red-blooded, firm-muscled heart. Then you'll obey my statutes and be careful to obey my commands. You'll be my people. I'll be your God. Ezekiel 11:16-20. Whether through denial or despair, the people of God nearly lost their identity as the people of God, but they didn't. God's people emerged from that catastrophic century robust and whole, and the reason, in large part, was Ezekiel.